Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you watch this channel. I'd like us to quickly go into a statement that Senator Nyutu released. This statement, Nyutu was trying to tell us about how William Ruto scored his own international own goals.
You know, it is the Standard that has written that that has a headline that is what President Ruto does. When he visits you, he'll praise you. When he goes to your neighbor, he'll say how bad you are.
Ruto's statement in Kenya, when he confronted the Chinese media, he talked about Kenya going BRICS, and we've talked about this in our previous analysis. So when Ruto was given a platform in China to give a statement again, he talked about how IMF is unfair. He talked about UN's shortcomings. So these two statements, ladies and gentlemen, are the main reasons why Nyutu had to react. So in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to explore this reaction from Nyutu and what many people believe is William Ruto scoring his own goals. Now, before we explore this story further, ladies and gentlemen, kindly like this video, subscribe to this channel, and to our existing subscribers, I want to continue thanking you so much, because without you, this channel won't have grown. Political own goals, how are they scored? That's something that we need to talk about in this analysis, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we want to justify that point. When Ruto, when he was invited in UN and Biden was still the president, our dear president made statements
resolved by an undemocratic, unrepresentative Security Council. For this critical institution to reflect the values it is entrusted to protect, to defend, to uphold on behalf of humankind.
Our dear president made statements that bordered around the fact that UN was doing good because he needed UN to fund the Haiti mission. Now, we are all aware, based on statements from the president and from so many people, that US has not delivered its side of the bargain. And the side was to sponsor this trip. UN, in collaboration with the US, was supposed to sponsor that trip of the Haiti. Now, if they didn't pay, if they didn't support the government financially, and Biden is not the president, and Trump is in power, and Trump has negated majority of the policies which they had signed with the Kenyan government, or rather the African governments. Trump has cancelled majority of them. That would mean even this Haiti mission is not an important issue to the US. So most likely Trump is not going to honor that. So that explains why Ruto was upset, and he must have made those statements in China, Beijing, simply because of that feeling that he was upset. Now, the second thing, IMF's loans delayed. I mean, based on the statement again, IMF loans delayed. Now, Ruto talked about unfairness from IMF. Of course, when the Gen Zs protested in the streets of Nairobi and everywhere about those unfair policies which were believed to have come from IMF were not happy, because the international, the global political arena was aware that Kenyans were complaining that IMF is the main reason why they have their own problems. And many countries in Africa claim that IMF is responsible for shida zao zote. So we can say that hiyo ilichangia sana IMF ku slow down. And also there's a statement from Badi. Badi made a pronouncement. He rejected the proposal by IMF because IMF wanted some tax iongezwe, but Badi rejected that. So we can explain that that could be the reason why IMF is being blamed here. We can as well also attribute the blame on IMF to what happened with Uganda, because when Uganda decided that they were not going to allow LGBTQ in their country, Biden reacted. And that reaction from Biden made the World Bank stop any finances on Uganda. And Museveni talked about financing its own budget from the people. The people themselves are going to finance their own budget.
A woman from the World Bank rang me, and I told her exactly as I'm telling you. I said, I'm going to sign the bill because of the 3 points I've told you. Merely being, no, we cannot criminalize you. Being and trying to recruit, we punish you by imprisonment. Raping, we kill you.
So if you look at all these indicators, you can say that maybe Ruto made that pronouncement about IMF because of those factors. But do you believe that Ruto scored his own goal? I mean, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Did Ruto score his own goal by castigating the UN, the IMF? These are people who gave him a standing ovation. You remember?
To reflect the values it is entrusted to protect, to defend, to uphold on behalf of humankind.
What Senator Nyutu told us, ladies and gentlemen, is a bit spot on. And I think I agree with Senator Nyutu on that accusation that the president scored on goals. You see, in geopolitics right now, for those of you who follow a lot of geopolitics, I've been concerned a bit about what is happening on the global arena. So for those of you who've also been concerned about what is happening on the global arena, and you're aware about the trade war, the tariff war that is going on, EU recently made some pronouncement about some bans on US products and imposing more taxes on the US products. Those in Onliwe also, because they realized that US was being unfair. But US is complaining that China is being unfair. So US and China's war has escalated, and the people are suffering are these other small countries. So EU didn't want that to happen. So because that is what is happening, that can explain why Ruto quickly rushed to China. And the main intention for Ruto rushing to China was to try to counter this tariff war, because this tariff war ilikuwa itafanya Kenya iumie, Uganda iumie, East Africa iumie. So going to China is solving a problem that maybe Ruto had foreseen. So, ladies and gentlemen, based on Nyutu's statement and William Ruto's statement castigating the West, what do you have to say? Just go below in the comment section and tell us. Perhaps if you're watching this video and you've not subscribed, take 1 second and subscribe, like this video. Until you catch up again, stay safe and stay blessed.